This is CAF TV. Welcome everybody. Alex Bastiavansky here in the studio, and you'll notice I'm joined immediately here by guests, and today we're doing something a little bit differently. It's going to be all guests for all four segments. Brampton City United first, and then Burlington Academy is going to join us later. But first, so happy to be joined by Mr. Juan Barreto.
Thank you.
An old friend of mine who I don't get to see too often, and Nicholas Hobinka, who's the center forward and the star center forward on Brampton City United. Guys, welcome to the studio.
Thank you, Alex, for having us. And, it's a pleasure to be on your show to talk about Brampton City United program.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about season here first, just for a second. And for the most part, very strong. There was one little game a couple of weeks ago, which we're not going to get into, that was a little bit of a blow-up. But aside from that one, very strong play so far. So let's actually start off with Nicholas.
Okay.
And you tell us how you think the season's gone so far.
Well, I think the season has started out pretty well for us. We started out strong in the first game and we weren't quite able to win it. And overall, over the next few games, we've been trying to improve in practices, trying to improve many things such as defending, shooting, passing, stuff like that. And then we've had some mixed results with some good victories, a couple of bad ones. But overall, we're just trying to push together and do as best as we can.
Yeah, well said.
Oh, that's it.
Well said. And Coach, you echo that?
Fantastic, because además, it's also the competition is staff, so which I like that. So we want to play the best players around the province, definitely.
Right. You're stealing my next question, which is what you like about CAF, the competition, but we'll get to that in a moment. You are the head coach, technical director. You've been with Brampton City since it started. Tell us a little bit about Brampton City United and what the program's all about.
Oh, Brampton City United was a former team in CSL, the Canadian Soccer League, semi-professional league, and we have great success. We know under Mike DiMatteo, the owner. We have a great players around the CSL, and that was a great opportunity for our youngest to look at the top of the pyramid of development.
Aspire to something and see what the older players were doing,
yeah,
right?
That was great, and that was a lot of success. And we have players from different countries, Serbian, Croatians, Bulgarians, Colombians, and Ecuadorians. So that was a great mix of players, former professional players that brought a lot of experience to our club.
Right, and now we're dealing more on the youngster side of things, and this is the under-13 supergroup team we should mention that Nicholas is a part of. Nicholas, how long have you been with Brampton City for, and what do you like about the program?
Well, I've been in Brampton City United for 3 years, and what I really like about the club is its development, how we try to improve and how we try to get the players and we try to improve them in any way possible.
Right. Who's your favorite player? Is there someone that you pattern your game after?
Well, I think I really like Lionel Messi.
Messi's
I think he's a
You're
good
a
player.
Messi guy, not a Ronaldo guy.
I'm a Messi guy.
You're a Messi guy, okay. What do you like about Messi, besides the obvious stuff? But
Well,
what do you like about him?
I like his dribbling. I like his determination in games, which is what I want to do. I want to try to win the ball a lot of the times like Messi. Yeah. I like to pass the ball around, dribbling, shooting. I like to do all of it.
You're a goal scorer too. We saw the 3-spot you put up against Jenga Academy a couple weeks ago, Tour de Force, I think is what we were calling it. Yeah. Tell us about Nicholas, Coach Juan, and what he brings to the field.
Nicholas will be one of the players that started the program with us, and definitely, is one of the players that have improved them tremendously. It's just amazing how he took the game for the next, his next level, right? So discipline, always faster to try to escape from the defenders, which is very good. He's getting better in the first touch to keep possession and to try to beat defenders as well. Right. So, like you said, is our top scorer and also our captain of the team. Yeah. So it's great to coach him and also see his improvement every day.
Right. Mm-hmm. As I said, the 3 goals you put up against Jenga in that game were phenomenal. One that really stood out was the header. I don't know if you remember the header I'm talking about.
Beautiful.
From distance as well, which is something you don't often see in the under-13 age group. Just talk about that natural goal-scoring touch that he's got.
No, it's, you know what? It's as a striker, you gotta be in the right spot, in the right time. I think he was in the right moment and yes, did the right decision, right? To make that decision was brilliant. I think I was wondering that will be one of the games of the week, but definitely it's so much to compete against, and unfortunately they didn't.
We have to go to break, but one thing I was going to mention was, and that I loved, that we'll get to in a second, right at the end of the game, him and Kevin DeSerpa, the coach of Jinga, shook hands in midfield. Kevin's a former national team player, and both said that was a beautiful game, and that's what the game is all about, and we all love that. Anyway, we'll be back in 1 second. More CAF TV coming right up.
Work hard, support each other. Got it? Wanted more than them, so we'll be fine.
Welcome back to CAF TV. Still joined here in the studio by the members of Brampton City United, the technical director, head coach Juan Barreto, and center forward extraordinaire Nicholas Obinka. So, gentlemen, we mentioned before, Brampton City United was a charter member of CAF going back to 2012. You were obviously a part of it when you first got in. Tell us about the CAF experience for you guys and what it's been like and why you guys wanted to be a part of CAF.
Well, we were one of the first academies to join CAF initiative, and definitely was the right choice for us. I think our players benefit tremendously from the environment that is very close to a professional one. So that's why we want to compete with the best, and we have to challenge ourselves. And the way to be challenged is playing against the best academies around the province, and that's why we choose to join CAF.
What do you like about being part of CAF?
Well, I really like to see that after the game next week, you get to see how the game went, what went wrong, what went right, and then if you scored a goal, you get to see it, which is really nice.
The TV stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, of course you like the TV stuff. Yeah, and what else do you like about it?
Well, you get to see what you can improve on. So if you did something good in the game, you can keep doing that next game. If you did something bad in the game, you can improve it during training.
And the level of play, how have you found the level of play? As we mentioned, some weeks have been better than others. There was a rough game against OTS a couple of weeks ago.
Yes.
But overall, how have you found the level of play?
Well, I think it's been harder than most seasons than in most previous seasons. Okay. And I felt like this season it's much harder as we're playing one of the best teams in the state. Right. And that we can have to improve ourselves to compete against the best teams. Yes.
Yeah, elevate your game a little bit. We're going to talk about a couple of players on the team that I know that Juan wanted to single out. And Cameron Dunslow is one of them. Yes. Talk about, you know what, actually you tell us about Cameron first and what he brings to the field, do you think?
Well, I think Cameron is a good friend and that he also is very good at playing soccer. He likes to run and he likes to play with the team and he likes to help the team a lot. He wants to improve the team as well.
Yeah, Coach.
Yeah. No, I would say he's one of the leaders in the team as well, right? So he plays as a holding midfielder. Sometimes he plays as a right back, and he's strong physically, and he's just improving his positioning and also his distribution of the ball that is very crucial in the middle of the park. Right. But he's a strong player in the middle.
Aiden Johnson is another one that you mentioned to me that you thought I should ask Juan a couple of weeks ago. I was following around some players and they said who's someone I should key in on, and Aiden Johnson was the other one. So what do you like about Aiden?
Oh, I mean, Aiden is, I would say, is a very talented player. He have all what it takes to be a good winger. He can play left or right. It's a player that really, the national program has to keep an eye, because right. I will say he's a quality player that one day, if he decided to get the path of the professional level, he can achieve that. Definitely is a player that also alternates football with track and field. Right. So he's an athlete.
Good mix.
And it's a good mix. Yep. And now it's a matter of, understanding a bit of the technical aspect and also the tactical aspect of his position to be able to be successful in football.
Now, your background is you're from Colombia. When did you come to Canada?
2000.
2000.
Yes, 17 years older.
In Colombia, where soccer is everything, it is obviously the sports. So when you first come to Canada, and obviously we still have a ways to go, but we're starting to make some progress now. And Gold Cup was obviously a good step, which you followed very closely.
Yes.
What do you think about the advancement of Canadian soccer? We know the women have obviously had a lot of success, but our men were still working on that. What have you thought about that? And you actually know Alphonso Davies, our young budding superstar. We're sort of mixing all things in together. That's my fault here. But just talk about that, the advancement of Canadian soccer, what you see, and also what you think of Davies as a young player.
Yeah, no, since I came to Canada, I can see how the game is growing, and also the coaches, right? So that's very important that coaches are willing to put some more time to develop their skills to become better coaches. So that part of the equation is very important for the youth programs. And that's why, back to CAF, we love to be in CAF because we have quality academies coached by quality coaches, which is amazing. And back to the national program, it's going to benefit the youngest because at the end of the day, they have to be motivated for somebody, and that's going to be the national players. Right. Now hired the Canadian soccer hired Octavio Zambrano, which is from Ecuador, and brings another perspective of the South American, flair into the Canadian and North American soccer, which is amazing.
And it's been exciting to watch so far, obviously. Quarterfinals, good step, baby steps, but we're starting to get there, and we'll have to save the Davies story for another time. Yep. But guys, listen, thank you so much for being here, both you guys.
Thank you, Alex.
And looking forward to seeing you on the field. More CAF TV come up in touch. Welcome back to CAF Television. From Brampton, we move to Burlington now, as I'm happy to be joined by the gentleman from the Burlington Academy, and that's head coach Brandon Wellington and Mihail Markovic. Welcome, guys.
How you doing?
Welcome to the show. And Mihail is the owner of the academy. And we're just going to talk about the season. Let's just start off with that. First of all, the under-13 group was a little more difficult, I think, than you guys had anticipated it was going to be at first, which is an interesting story. But you guys have definitely upped your games. The season's gone along. Talk about that when you first came in and what happened since.
Yeah, we kind of underestimated the U13 division a little bit. But through the season, I want the guys playing a certain style of football. And I know sometimes it's not going to win games at the beginning, but it's a process, and I think it's starting to come together and they're starting to perform at a higher level now. Well,
the results have been a lot better as of late. You're the gentleman who started the program. We're going back a few years now since you started Burlington. Maybe just talk about it. Talk about why you started the program and what it is that Burlington offers.
What we started to do originally is that we wanted to have a semi-professional team in Burlington. And the reason for that is because we wanted to try to bring something new to the city of Burlington. Originally, the plan was that we might be able to work with some local clubs at the time, but then by going through the process, we did realize that that setting up an academy, setting up the supporting system that is going to be able to feed into the semi-professional team, it's probably the best and the right thing to do. Right. So we started. We had the first year we were working with the semi-professional team, and after that, I believe, after the first year, we started setting up the academy as well. So we started the support program from the U8 all the way to U16, with the intention that when the boys become, get to U16, they can start looking to U18 and start being a part of semi-professional as well.
It was a true pyramid of play, wasn't it? You guys had it moving all the way up to the top, and you guys had success with the professional team as well.
Yes.
And there's still a semi-professional team under the Burlington banner. Just talk about, because you've had a couple big names play for the Burlington team as well. Nicholas Lindsay's one that comes to mind. He used to play for TFC. Yeah. Got Mr. Wellington as well, as a matter of fact, who happens to play a reasonably big name. But just talk about that over the years and how you guys have done.
The reason why we did it, and the reason you can see too, Brandon now being one of the coaches and being a coach for the multiple teams, is we always wanted to make sure that the kids can relate to the coaches, as well as to be able to see them, how they play, what approach they take at the actual game, right? So because you've seen in a lot of cases, there's been a lot of coaches, they played the game 25 years, 30 years ago. Now we want to kind of maybe bridge that a little bit more. To say, okay, now you can see your coach in the action, you can see what he's doing right, maybe who's doing something wrong, where would you adjust and how would you adjust it as well, right?
Great. And Brandon, quite the player yourself, NCAA scholarship at Niagara University. You're a Purple Eagle, I believe is the the term, and also professional soccer pretty much all over Canada as well as over in Europe. Tell us a bit about your background.
Yeah, so 18 years old, scholarship to the States, played at Niagara University. Came back after the first year and was playing with Mississauga Eagles, and then I had an opportunity to go overseas to play in Croatia with the academy at Dinamo.
And what was that like?
Yeah, it's fantastic. Just experience that level of football over there in Europe is always a great experience.
Had you had a chance to play before as a youngster? Had you had a chance to go over and do any sort of competition against European teams or anything, or was this a completely new experience for you?
I had some opportunities when I went down to the States a couple times with some showcase teams, and there were some European teams that came over. But that was my first experience training at that level.
Right.
Yeah.
And is this, for your kids, do you believe this is an understanding they need to have of what they need to do in order to have that level of competitiveness?
Yeah, I think I kind of bring that level to in my training and make sure I relay to them what it takes to get to the next level. And having that experience kind of just helps to bridge the gap between that.
Right. So tell us more about the academy and age groups. And because this is a pyramid of plays we mentioned before. But tell us about the age groups. And also, it's not just guys now, is it? It's girls as well.
We have a girls program as well. So we have I think, one of few academies in the CAF that actually has a girls program. Right. We have a U13, 14 girls team that has been together for a couple of years now. As well as we are building a U11 team, girls 11 team. When it comes to the boys, all the way from U8 to U15 at this point. So, the full progression, like we said, too, with the intention that eventually these guys are going to be playing at a semi-professional level as well, if that's the desire.
Right, and as we mentioned before, you guys are a founding member of CAF.
Yes.
From back in 2012. Why CAF? What did you guys like about it in the first place?
We like the opportunity to, just the whole approach that CAF had, how to develop the players, how to develop the kids, how to put them in a different experience of stadiums, experiences of something that's more professional than just, playing on a grass fields like majority of other leagues do.
Right. Okay. If people want to find out more about it, the website is the place to go.
Yes, it is. Everything is there, as well as our contact information is there, and we make sure that we respond to any of these requests like in the same day.
Okay. Coaches were first. Players are coming up next. So stick around, guys. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
I really appreciate it. Okay. More CAF television coming up in just a moment. Welcome back to CAF TV. As promised, the coaches are gone now, so now we've got the players. And these are two guys from the Under-13 Burlington Academy squad. Thomas Noonan, who is going to explain to us exactly what position he plays in a moment. And Matthew Haddad, who is the center back, correct?
Yep.
Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
To the show. What position do you play? What should we list you as?
Well, I've played a lot of positions. I've played keeper recently because our normal keeper, Nils, has been on vacation.
Right.
But I've played center back before. Actually joined the academy as a center back. But
they've got you mostly in goal now, don't they?
Yeah, well, for the younger age group, Nils is up there, so he's at the top of the squad.
Okay.
But I play a little younger because I'm younger than he is, so I play goalkeeper for that team.
Well, we're going to get to your goalkeeping in a second because he's made some pretty good saves so far this year. You may have seen him in the plays of the week a couple times. Let's first of all, let's talk about the season. And maybe you want to take this, Matthew, just how you feel the team's playing so far.
So I think we started out like underestimating the teams.
Right.
But like towards the end we kind of
reinforced it a little bit.
Yeah.
I think the coaches were saying, They were saying that you guys, the coaches actually, I think, had underestimated maybe how strong it was going to be. So you guys had to sort of reinforce the squad a little bit. And you can see it with the results, right? I mean, the first two games, I think you lost 8-0 to CAQ and 8-0 to OTS, but then you guys upped your game and a few different guys came on, and now you guys have been doing really well lately, haven't you?
Originally, we underestimated the competition, but I think we picked it up in the end. And we changed our style of play slightly to more possession-based, and I think it's worked out for us.
Okay, now, Thomas, you're going to play the role of analyst for a moment here, and you are going to break down Matthew's game for us and tell us what he brings to the pitch every time he steps on. So you're on.
Well, Matthew has a lot of confidence, and whenever he steps on, he's always full of enthusiasm.
Right.
I remember when you joined the academy 2 or 3 years ago, you weren't as outgoing as you are now, but he started out as a sub, and then he's worked his way up to the starting position, and now he's one of our key players.
He looked right at him as he said that too. That was impressive, actually. Okay, now it's your turn. The man without a position, who actually, to be honest, he's now become a pretty darn good goaltender. So, break down his game for us.
Thomas, when I first came to the club, he was a kind guy. He was one of those guys that would give me confidence, and he was one of the starters. He was like one of the key players back then as well. Now he's been a really good goalkeeper, and yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, he's made some huge saves. Like the Jenga game where I believe it was a 3-3 final, or was it 4-4? It was something along those lines.
Jenga? I think it was 2-2.
Was it? Okay. I was way off then. A fantastic game, though. And we were going to do player interviews at the end of the game. And someone was trying to mug for the camera, not one of these two. And they all said, no, you have to interview Thomas because you were the man of the game. You made some massive stops in that game. The level of competition in CAF, is this one of the things you guys like about it so much?
Yeah.
Yeah? Let's talk about that.
When we first started, we didn't really have anywhere to specifically play.
Right.
But then our coaches found CAF, and we had somewhere that had high competition. We were playing in good stadiums with good pitches, and we had somewhere where we had to step up our game and actually compete at a certain level.
Right. What have you really liked about CAF?
Just the style of play and like how the stadiums are like.
You like the stadiums too, huh? Yeah.
It's just
Seems to be a
being on TV.
common
It's
thread.
nice.
Him being on TV, yeah, of course. Burlington Academy. We've got just over a minute left, but maybe first of all, how long have both of you guys been with the academy for now?
I've been here for like 2.5 years, maybe.
I've been here, I think, 3-4 years. I've been here since the academy was actually first formed.
You're a veteran now.
I'm one of the few.
One of the few. Growing fast though, right? The ranks. And what do you guys like about it?
Everybody's helpful. The coaching's great.
We're a very inviting academy. If somebody joins, we won't instantly be judgmental to them. We'll help enforce and encourage the new players.
Right. And Brandon, as a coach, what's he like? I've been following him for a long time. I used to cover him when he played in other leagues, and pretty good player.
Yeah.
So you guys recognize this, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So talk about him as a coach.
He's a great coach. He's very encouraging, and he's taught me a lot.
He's taken his style of play and molded it so that way we can understand it. And we're learning and we're getting a lot better due to his coaching style.
Have you guys gone out and watched him play at all?
Yeah.
Once.
You have, yeah?
I have.
Yeah? What was that like?
It was fantastic.
Yeah?
It was great to see him.
Was he ripping it up or
Yeah.
keeping up still? He's so young anyway. What am I talking? I'm treating him like he's a veteran because he started playing for so young. Anyway, guys, it's been a lot of fun watching you guys so far this year. Keep up the great saves.
Thank you.
And you keep up the strong play. Guys, thank you for being here.
No problem.
Thanks.
Okay,
It's
we
our
got
pleasure.
we got to wrap it up for CAF TV. Remember, CAFsoccer.com for more information, and all these social media outlets are there for you to check out as well. Thanks, folks. We'll see you next week for more CAF TV.